Sisulu, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Let me start off by asking you how long you've been trying to secure a meeting with the President.
As Reverend Frank Chikane said, the discussions began shortly after the passing of President Nelson Mandela. The reaching out, he reached out, called many of us to say these are the steps he wants to take. We said, let's go with it. So it's been quite a while.
So have you been in discussions for all this time and now only decided you're ready to speak to the President, or have you made attempts to speak to him in the last 2 years?
No. There are letters that have been written, first to the top six, if you want, the executive of the ANC, and then lately to then ask for a meeting with the President himself. And unfortunately, the response was not exactly what we expected, which was raising questions about the standing of people like Comrade Kathrada, Comrade Mlangeni. I mean, they are not just stalwarts, they are veterans of the movement who hold the movement very dear. And for them to be required to almost explain themselves before they can be given an audience, I think it's the worst of being disrespectful.
So that response came directly
from the latest,
ANC?
Yes. Well, it came directly from the Secretary General's office.
How do the veterans like you feel about being treated that way? Surely there must be an element of dejection in that.
No. I think the issues that we are concerned about cannot be simply shoved aside, and we feel that we actually have to be apologetic about the issues we raise. They are very serious. They are about our country. They are about our organization. They are about our constitution. And I think the report of the public protector tells you that these problems run deep, very deep. And so we want the ANC to claim back its leadership in society by cleaning up. And it cannot be done simply by saying we will self-correct. It hasn't happened because this malaise has been going on for far too long. So no, our own feelings, definitely speaking for myself, somebody who's disrespectful, that's their problem. We stay focused on what we want to achieve, and what immediately we want to achieve is for the ANC to hold a consultative conference as soon as possible, so that going into the elective conference, all of these matters that have now also been raised with great worry by the public protector have been addressed, because it won't help to simply change the chairs in the Titanic, because it is actually sinking.
What do you think is the cause of this entire situation spinning out of control? I mean, there's clearly evidence of conscience in your generation within the ANC. I mean, there are even younger members of the ANC who seem to display that. How did this come about, that this part of the ANC, this element, has lost its way?
I think part of it is that, going back a while, when we think we have our government, civil society has tended to sit back, to say we trust them with our lives, basically.
Shouldn't civil society be able to say that to some extent?
Of course. I mean, people who vote, especially those who are not members of the ANC, are entrusting the ANC with their lives, with their constitution, with the country. And I think people trusted too long and too much, and did not curb the excesses timelessly. But that doesn't mean we can't do it now. And I think South Africans are standing up and behind, and the movement are these stalwarts, are people like Kathrada, are people like Mlangeni, are people like Freni Jinwala. I mean, those are people whose integrity you cannot question. And they are voicing concern. And the ANC needs to listen.
Sisulu, what would be your advice to a South African voter come the next election?
It's early days. But I think, as President Mandela said, and I quote him, if the ANC fails you, then get them out of power.
I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for speaking to us. A strong statement indeed to end your interview with. Thank you for coming in to speak to us today.
Thank you.
ANC stalwart Sheila Sisulu. Your headlines are next.